I'm so dumb. Hey guys, so today's video is going to be college advice for incoming college freshmen, college seniors, high schoolers, just anyone who wants to know a bit more about college and what it's like to live on campus. So yes, a little bit about myself. I am technically still a freshman. I'm at the very end of my school year. I actually moved back home due to coronavirus, so I am finishing up my classes here at home. But yes, I'm a freshman, I'm a nursing major. I go to Georgia State University and I moved into college last year around September, late August-ish. I hope this helps someone. If it helps one person, that would be amazing. And I love helping you guys and just sharing as much as I can to make your experience better at college and in life in general. So yes. The first thing that I'm going to be talking about is roommates. So whether you're dorming with one person or you have multiple roommates or something like that, you want to try your best to not have a random roommate. So going into college, I had a random roommate. I didn't know anyone at my college. I pretty much didn't have a choice but to have a random roommate, and I would have preferred to have someone that I knew at least a little bit, but I ended up having a random roommate, and it wasn't the worst experience I've had, but it definitely was not something that I wanted. Me and my roommate were just two completely different people, and we didn't really understand each other, and there was so many misunderstandings, and it's just a lot better if you room with someone you know, or maybe family friends. On the other hand, I would not room with your best friend or something like that. I don't know, just something about living together I feel would mess up your relationship. Maybe that's just me, I don't know, but my advice is to find someone that you know a little bit that goes to your school, and ask them if you want to be roommates, and therefore that you have someone that you at least know a little bit, and you know their background and you know how they're like. As I said, my roommate situation was not the best because we just didn't know each other. We didn't really like the same things. I don't know, it was not ideal. I don't really want to get into it too much just because I don't want to come on the internet and bash my roommate, because honestly she was a pretty good roommate. We just had lots of misunderstandings. So yes, if you want to avoid misunderstandings and arguments, definitely try and find someone you know to room with you first. Your roommate situation can really make or break how good your year is gonna go. So if you have a really good roommate and y'all are awesome friends, you're gonna have a great year with no worries. But if you're not close with your roommate or your suite mates, and if you keep having these misunderstandings, it's gonna make your year stressful, and little things are gonna happen that are just gonna stress you out for no reason, and it's just going to be harder on you. So yeah, pick a good roommate and try to avoid rooming with a random stranger. So next I want to talk about food. So this is kind of also depends on where you go to school at. At Georgia State, the food wasn't horrible, but also it just it was not the best. Food at the beginning of the year is going to be really, really good, but towards the middle end of the year, they're gonna really start slacking and start basically just serving you anything. The reason why I wanted to talk about food is because it had a huge impact on my college experience, not only because it affected my weight and my mood and my appetite. It can also affect how well you do in your class. Before you go off to college, I would definitely recommend trying to learn some healthier eating habits that you can take to college with you, so that way when you get to college you're not completely going crazy and eating everything, because that was me. I was as I said, I love food, so I kind of just ate whatever I wanted and didn't really care about nutrition. But that honestly, eating healthier and picking, not just eating fruits and veggies all the time, but eating your proteins, your grains, your starches, everything that you need. And you don't realize it, but the food you eat really affects how you do in life in general. So if you're eating junk food, obviously you're going to be tired all the time, and you're going to not want to study, not want to walk to class. You're going to be taking naps, and you're going to miss assignments, and it's just bad. That's what happened to me. I ate whatever I wanted, my energy level dropped drastically, and I was tired all the time, and I couldn't, there were days I legit could not get out of bed because I was so tired, and I missed classes. And it's just, you want to have the energy you need to do what you need to do. So go to class and walk to class and get your assignments done. And yes, be mindful of the food you eat and make sure you're making good nutritional habits. Another thing no one mentioned to me at all before I went to college was the emotional impact that moving away so suddenly has on you. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but when I first moved away to college, I was so sad, and I did not expect to feel so isolated and so just like alone, especially because I moved to a college where I literally didn't know anyone. I knew one guy that I went to high school with, and we were already like really close friends, so like that was good. But besides that, I felt really alone, and I felt isolated from my family and my high school friends, and it was just really hard. And another thing I should mention was before college, I was never really allowed to like go places without my parents. Like I was never allowed to go to sleepovers. I've never been on like long trips without my family before, so moving away to college and suddenly not being with my family was so incredibly hard, but I got through it. I ended up making friends and like handling my emotions a little bit better and maturing. So you know when you have like experiences in life where like you have to go through something because you know it's going to make you a stronger person in the end? That's what moving to college is like. So yes, just keep that in mind. You're going to get through it. You're going to be such a better person the next go around. So yeah. So next is classes. So this honestly depends on your major. I am a nursing major, so I had to take chemistry and psychology and like what else, health and human development, all those like sciencey classes. So obviously those are pretty tough. If you have any major that's like medical or like math or sciencey, you're gonna have hard classes, and you know, that's just it. That's what you expect when you go into a major like that. So don't be discouraged. You're gonna get through it. You're gonna have the tools that you're gonna need to get through it. So college classes are very different from the type of instruction that you get from high school teachers. They're not going to hold your hand through classes or anything. They're going to give you the information, and what they expect you to do with the information is retain it and soak it all in yourself and do that like however you do that best. In high school, the teachers kind of like give you study guides and set up like study groups and like all these things, and they really help you throughout the class. But college is not like that at all. They're also not gonna like dumb things down for you. They're gonna give you the information that they have, and they're gonna expect you to run with it and do the best you can with it. In college, you have a lot more freedom to do what you want with the information. You don't have to like do study guides and all these worksheets and all these like online things. You literally just like make flashcards, make websites do anything that will make you learn the information best. So one of the things that really helped me was every time that like my professor would upload a like PowerPoint or like informational slides to the websites, I would just take a sheet of paper and write down everything I thought was important, and I would then go back, read over it, and highlight things that I thought were even more important. And in the end, I would just continuously read the sheets of paper. Whenever I had a test or a quiz or like something like that, I would just continuously just read. And honestly, reading is such a big part of like college classes. I'm telling you guys, if you guys don't read in college, you're gonna get nowhere. Like your grades are not gonna like be good. If you read, your grades are going to reflect the fact that you read, and your professor is gonna see that, and she or he is going to be very impressed. So reading is definitely very important in college. I'm gonna be honest, in high school, I never read at all. In high school, I didn't read at all, but in college, I read so much, and honestly, it's really helpful, and I know it can be kind of boring sometimes, but you know, reading is part of growing up and maturing and just overall being a better intellectual. Another thing about college classes is that your brain is going to be so full all the time of information. It literally, you never stop like absorbing information, and it's like, even though that's how it is, it's still a lot easier than high school classes. I hate to like burst anyone's bubble, but college classes can sometimes be so much more simpler and overall just like easier to work through than high school classes. That's how my classes were first semester, and some of the classes I had second semester were kind of tough, but overall, like, I personally think they're easier to work through. So with classes that are pretty like open and like you can kind of choose what you want to do with the class, comes study habits. So you want to develop good study habits way before you come to college. So before coming to college, look up on YouTube some good study tips or study habits. I actually have a video on my channel of like study tips and things like that for high schoolers, so you should definitely check my video out. But definitely look up videos, whatever videos you want, you can look at. Try and think of like some out-of-the-box ways to study. In college, you're definitely gonna need some like unique ways to like retain information, since all you're doing is retaining information. So one study tip that I did was obviously like the one I talked about, where I like write everything down on a piece of paper and highlighted it and read it. So whatever information you have, you can take a screenshot of it or a picture and like make it your background screen for your phone, so that way every time you pick up your phone you can like read the information. And if you're anything like me, you're definitely looking at your phone every 2 seconds to see if anyone texted you, so it works out great. You can see who texted you and you can read a little bit of information you need to learn. Going back to like classes and study tips, definitely utilize your on-campus resources that have to do with like tutoring and study groups and just like free stuff. For the longest time, my first semester, I never went to the tutoring center at my college, which I don't even know why. The tutoring center is amazing. They will literally, at my school at Georgia State, you can literally walk in there and they will answer any and every question that you have for them, and they won't even get upset, and they will keep like explaining things to you until you get it. Like they're dedicated to like making kids better, and it's amazing. And I didn't even like get into the tutoring center until like later in my first semester, but I wish I would have done it so much sooner. And yeah, also office hours for your professor are important. I'm sure you've heard this 10,000 times by other people, but I'm telling you now, office hours, oh my god, I don't know where I would be without office hours. And me going to all those office hours honestly helped me in the end get an A in my chemistry class, which was really, really hard, and I don't even know how I got an A. I'm convinced the only reason I have an A is because I went to that woman's office hours every week. So yes, take advantage of all the resources that you can get with helping you pass your classes, and not just pass your classes, but do great in your classes. So next I'm going to be getting into like friends and clubs and like the social life of being on a college campus. So living in the dorms, you make literally so many friends. You see the same people every day. How could you not be friends with them? It's like in high school, you were friends with people literally just because you were in the same class as them. But yes, in college, especially when you first move in, there's gonna be lots of like functions, I guess. There's gonna be lots of events and like functions that have to do with you, like going and getting to know people and like making groups of friends and all that. So yeah, it's amazing. But another thing is, you will most likely not stay friends with a majority of the people that you first meet at college. The very first friend group that I hung out with at college, I only talked to maybe one or two of them right now, and it's kind of sad. I miss them, but yeah, that's just how it is. When you first go to college, everyone's like super excited and like wants to have friends and everything, but then people might realize that, oh, this group may not be for me, or I found another group that like is like less toxic. I don't know what your situation may be, but my situation was kind of just like, the friends that I had at the beginning of college weren't really right for me. I kind of just felt like I didn't really fit in with them, but then I found friends that I did love and that I did fit in with. And the amazing thing is, later in the year, the friend group I first had and the friend group that I had like after them like kind of combined, and we all became friends with each other in the end, and it was so amazing. And you know, if something like that happens to you, it's great and it's amazing. So yes, just keep an open mind about your friend groups and your new friendships. And again, just because someone is in the same like grade as you and in the same like major or class or something doesn't mean that they are like destined to be your friend. You never know what type of people are like out in the world. So especially at like a school like Georgia State, like that's in like kind of the rough part of Atlanta, and you just honestly never know. So be safe and be cautious of who you let into your life. So Greek life and clubs. I personally got super involved in Greek life early on. I went through sorority recruitment as a freshman, and I am now in Alpha Omicron Pi, my sorority, and I love it so much. And the majority of my friends now are from my sorority. So yeah, I highly recommend going into Greek life. And you know, like, you don't even have to do Greek life, you can do any type of club or association that gets you involved with your school. And if you're involved with like your school and, you know, places where you have friends, then you like won't feel as like lonely and sad. And I'm gonna be honest, college can be a very depressing place if you don't have a good support system. So you want to make sure you make good relationships with people. And you know, if you want to do Greek life, or if you want to do clubs, or like Christian organizations are also great. So yes, just get involved and you'll have a much better time. Also, getting involved in college clubs and like sororities and fraternities, it gets you a lot of connections. I know people who have gotten jobs simply because they had a sorority sister at the same job, or the president of their club was like also like an associate of a company. So it's amazing. You get so many connections, so many friends, so many just great relationships that last so long. So yes. So next, I wanted to talk to you guys about high school and grades in college. So after high school and after you get into your desired college or university, your grades and your GPA and your SAT scores literally are trash. They don't matter. Nothing at all in college has to do with your high school GPA or anything. So don't think that like you're gonna need your GPA forever. You can work really hard in high school so that you can get into a certain college, but don't think that if you had a 4.0 in high school that's gonna get you any like swag in college. It's not. Trust me, I had a pretty good GPA in high school, and when I got to college I realized I was very mediocre compared to how I thought I was at my high school. So yes, keep that in mind and don't worry too much about your GPA. What a lot of people don't know is that the GPA that shows up on like your like college dashboard is not the same as your Hope GPA. They're two different things. So make sure you are aware of what your Hope GPA is and aware of your grades, and just being aware all the time is great. So the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is independence and self-control. So obviously with moving away to college, you have this newfound independence that you've never had before, and now you have complete freedom to do literally whatever you want to do. If you want to go to Walmart at 3 a.m. you can do that. If you want to go across the street to just sit on the bench and just read, you can do that. You don't have to have permission. Well, if you want permission from your parents to do that, I guess you could, but you don't really have to. This is what college is for. It's meant to get you independent and have you like have freedom and like that transition from teenage years to adulthood and everything. But with this newfound independence and freedom, you are desperately going to need some like self-control. In college, I went completely wild, and well, not like completely wild or anything. I just literally did whatever I felt like doing, and I didn't care if it was going to affect how, you know, I slept, if it was going to affect my weight or anything like that. I literally did whatever I wanted. I remember this one time I woke up in the middle of the night. It was like 2 a.m. and I was like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get a snack from the dollar store across the street. And I literally left my building at 2 a.m. in the middle of the city, and I got candy, a slushie, and a slice of pizza at 3 a.m. If that is not the biggest example of no self-control, I don't know what is. I honestly don't even know what I was thinking. First of all, I was living in Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta at 3 a.m. is very dangerous. I should not have left my building, and I regret, every time I think of it, I totally regret it. So yes, don't do that. Before coming to college, make sure you develop some kind of self-control. I know it doesn't seem like you need it, but you definitely want to, just because, like, you know, sometimes you never know what could happen, especially with like living in the city. If you are going to Georgia State, especially like living in the city and like, you know, like eating everything you want and like just like over obsessing in things that like you definitely don't need to be. So it's actually like 2 hours later and I had to go do something, but I'm back to finish. And yes, so self-control. Come to college, make sure you come to college with a little bit of self-control. Don't go completely wild, because you're gonna regret it. Obviously you're gonna make stupid mistakes. Make sure you come to college with the right mindset, and just like keep remembering the overall goal of why you're at whatever school you're at. So So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please let me know. I love doing like these sit down videos and talking to you guys, so please let me know if you like this video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.